What were your feelings towards Ebony's battle with alcoholism and her ability to overcome it?
With her alcohol, I was scared because she would leave from here sometime to go home or go other places. And I would ask her, please call me when you get home. She wouldn't call. I sit up, pat the floor until the next day.
Sauce sticks.
It's just easier for me to start at the beginning. Growing up without my father, it taught me my first lesson in rejection, and it made me feel worthless. The fact that he walked away so early on in my life made me feel like I wasn't good enough for anything. If I wasn't good enough for my dad to stay around, then I wasn't good enough for anyone or anything. I just wanted to be called beautiful. I just wanted someone's attention, even if for a moment. So that carried on for a large part of my life, Being that we were in college, that's where I had my first sip of alcohol, and I immediately fell in love with the feeling or the lack thereof. But I remember not even thinking about the resentment that I've been battling with, the abandonment, being hurt, the insecurities, and I just fell in love with being intoxicated. And from that moment forward, I had to have alcohol, I believe, to function. As crazy as it may sound, it made me feel like, whoa, I'm good at something. But sadly, it was out drinking everybody. And that's how I started to cope with everything, with college life, with the things that I hadn't healed from my daddy not being there, not having the attention that I thought I deserved from other people. And although I was truly dying on the inside, I finally had the attention that I've been seeking for a really long time. Everybody was doing it. But for me, I was doing it for a different reason, and I only knew what my reasons were. I didn't know what anybody else's reasons were, but I knew that I was running from something. I was running from a different feeling. I was running from my thoughts. I was running from the fact that I never felt good enough to do anything. I was running from my insecurities. And I surrounded myself with those people because, you are who you surround yourself with. So we were partiers. And I met a guy and we connected, and initially we first started hanging out, just kind of getting to know each other, having drinks, and then I got pregnant. I got pregnant, and I remember the day that I took the pregnancy test and I realized that I'm about to be somebody's mother, and I have no idea how to do this. No idea. I'm about to cry. No idea how to be a mother. I didn't have the best example, but I knew that I was gonna see the pregnancy through. When I told my grandmother I was pregnant, she said to me, well, I don't know how you're gonna take care of baby. I'm taking care of you, I can't take care of both of you all. And that was the first time that I realized in my life that I've disappointed my grandma.
On the phone when we were talking, you described that you had these moments in the pits.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about that?
The pits was just being depressed, resting on defeat, wallowing in shame, just covered in being drowned in hopelessness, and not feeling like that was all my life would ever be. Yet there was still somebody that was dependent on me. So I had to get up every day and put a smile on my face, and I had to go about my business of taking care of my son, even when it hurt, even when it was hard, even when it was difficult, because I did not have the example of the mother that I felt like I deserved. It was a lot of pressure on me in that department. Am I getting this right? Am I being the best mother that I can be? So that kind of kept me running back to the bottle as well, because I was always questioning myself. Put on a smile for the world, and then you come home and it's just, you're drowning yourself in 3 or 4 bottles of wine a night. January of 2015, it was actually January 23rd, and I remember going to support one of my friends who was a musician, and I went to see him perform with one of the bands that he's in. and drinking, having shots of tequila, just doing the normal stuff, the stuff that I'd been doing for years at that point. And I went and picked my son up, we went home, and I remember getting in bed that night, and I didn't have the strength or the sense to be responsible. He hadn't eaten dinner or anything, and I remember calling one of my friends and say, hey, can you bring him 2 cheeseburgers? Because I can't get it, I literally can't move. He went outside, he got the cheeseburgers. He went to bed, I went to bed. But the most amazing thing happened the next morning. And when I woke up, my son was standing beside my bed and he was crying. And I looked over and I said, Jalen, I said, what's wrong? And he said, Mommy, were you sick last night? And I said, no, baby, why? And as I got out of bed to console him, I realized that my own vomit was all over the floor. And I stood there in that moment and I said, there has to be a better way. Because what I believe as parents is that what we don't allow to heal for ourselves, or what we don't fight to heal, is what we pass down to our children. And I did not want my son's childhood memories to be that of having an alcoholic mother. So that's when I made the decision. I said, God, I don't know how. I don't even know if life without alcohol is possible, but I have to try. And that was the moment that I decided that the night before was my last drink.
Thank you for sharing that.
Whew. That one was a lot. After I made the decision that I was going to stop drinking, I actually isolated myself. I stayed away from events. I stayed away from family functions. I stayed away from anything that I thought would cause me to drink again, because I knew at that point my no was not strong enough. My no wasn't strong enough. And then I started to journal. Journaling is what got me through a lot of things, because like I tell people all the time, pen and paper doesn't pass any judgment. But what it did for me, it allowed me to become one with my thoughts. And it allowed me to understand why and get to the bottom why I was drinking so much. And sobriety for me is a daily decision. I'm quick to tell people all the time, it wasn't a decision that I made on January 24th, 2015. It's a decision that I make every single day. Even at this point, almost 4 years sober, I still have to wake up and I still sometimes tell myself how pretty I am, how confident I am, and how worthy I am sober. What led me to want to tell my story is because that's my contribution of saying, I understand. I've been in that space as well. Initially, when I started to share my journey through alcoholism, it was in 2016 after I had been sober for a year. And I had a cute little photo shoot. I had a Straight Outta Alcoholism t-shirt, and to me, I was just taking pictures. And then when I posted it on Facebook, everybody was responding like, man, who knew that you were going through that? So it was in those moments that I realized that if I was going through it, then somebody else was going through it. So that I said I'll become the mouthpiece so that other people can understand that you're not struggling alone. And also the reason why I wrote my book is because from my personal experience, I know that shame grows in the dark. It grows in the dark. So I decided that I was gonna share my story so that it'll light the path for people that are trying to get out of it, so that I can say to them, I understand you're not the only person that's felt that way.
Do you have any encouraging words for Ebony?
Yes, I really do. Continue, daughter. Keep a good job. Take care of your baby, yourself, and enjoy your book, because grandmama's gonna get one. Continue being the person that you are now, not when you was 30. I love you.
I just want people to experience and live in the moment that we have, because one thing that life has taught me is that tomorrow's not promised. All you have is this very moment. Make the best of this moment and just enjoy the one life that you have. Enjoy the one life that you have. Pain is inevitable, but your healing is a choice. You have to choose it. We're all gonna hurt over and over and over again, but you get to choose healing over and over and over again.
Try cuts.